Welcome back to the Professional Lovers channel. I'm Al.
And I'm Patty, and we are
the Professional Lovers.
Married for 27 years. Enjoy talking about relationship issues through the lens of Married at First Sight.
Yes.
So if you're a Married at First Sight fan, then you're in the right place. We do our best to talk about the issues, not so much the people, except the behaviors that they exhibit. We know that it's produced. We know that it's TV. We know that drama is a lot of what they go for, but the couple sure know how to provide that drama.
Well, they're real life issues that we perceive being displayed and on stage.
Yeah, so we understand all of that. So if you're new to our channel and our recap, then just know that we understand that we don't see everything that goes on, which is obvious. And so we do talk to what we do see.
True.
And what we do hear. So, and if you're not a newbie and you're a subscriber, hey, glad we're back for another week. And we had a new couple whose wheels came off. So we'll talk about them in a minute, but we always kind of like to go in order of how they were presented. So tonight started with Michaela and Zach. So the common theme through everybody was Dr. Viviana's visit.
Yeah.
Dr. Viviana visited everyone to check in on their intimacy, progress, yes, and where everybody is at the moment. So Michaela and Zach were kind of first. Now he talked to a friend first at the gym, said that they had another little tiff where he was supposed to be, they were supposed to have movie night. Right. He went to his apartment to get something. All of a sudden, oh, I'm tired, it's late. Postpone. I'm just going to stay here and let's postpone it. Okay, when you going to stop doing that?
Yeah.
We have a lot of guys exiting and go to their apartments to reset or get their heads together. Yeah. That's not how this works. But anyway.
That's not confronting the issue. I mean, that's not confront. You're in this for a relationship. You're already married. Okay, now being that you're married and that's concrete, that's established. Now what you want to do is fortify the relationship. You don't fortify the relationship
by walking away.
Separate forts.
Yeah, that's not how that works. But anyway, when he called and told her, hey, it's late, let's just, reschedule, she told him her feelings were hurt. Now he admitted
didn't blow up. She did not
do the Michaela hurricane thing. And he said that to his friend.
Right.
She handled it very great. Like, I can tell she's trying to
move forward in her expressiveness.
Right.
And how she's being understood and perceived, and not necessarily just, as they termed it, a knee-jerk reaction to everything that may go wrong or rub her wrong or whatever the case may be, which she has not.
Yet, when Dr. Viviana was talking to them, he basically said,
he went right back to square
one.
This
is a character flaw that cannot change, and therefore I don't trust her because this is who she is. It will not change.
And the way which in itself as a statement is so very wrong, as if no one can change, no one can improve, no one can, improve their character or just change their behavior.
Let's get that straight. This is a behavioral thing.
Yeah.
This is a reaction to insecurity, fear. This is not character.
Exactly.
Okay, let's just make that differentiation.
True.
This is not her character. This is a behavior. Just like his walking away and going and staying in his apartment is a behavior.
Yeah.
It's not a character issue.
Although
Now,
he does have, he has a flaw, and I really think that how did you term it? Conflict
he's conflict averse.
averse. Yeah.
He is so fearful of conflict and
Fearful.
does not.
Phobia.
He does not. He's insecure about his own ability to handle conflict.
Exactly.
That he wants no conflict.
Really.
And no conflict means you handle everything the way I do. You see everything the way I do, because he keeps talking about we need to be on the same page. What does that mean? What does it mean to be on the same page? That we have the same goals, or that we have the same goals and the same way of getting to those goals?
Yeah.
Two different people. Zach is not Michaela. Michaela is not Zach.
Exactly. And nobody is.
Two different environments that you've come from. Two different lives that you've lived. And so his level of emotional immaturity is astounding to me.
I think it's an issue. I mean, I think it's a clinical issue. I mean, literally, I think it has to be treated in some way of counseling or something, because he feels that there is a perfection type situation that exists. And where he gets this preconceived notion from, I have no idea. But it's costing him a potentially great relationship, because just in the few weeks that this has been going on, I can see where Michaela has
grown.
Adapted
There's
considerably,
been growth.
understanding
Yes.
how her actions can cause other people to feel and respond in a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that she does not want to run away her husband through her actions or reactions. So she has adapted considerably.
It was also interesting that Zach kept saying that how her knee-jerk reactions, which is what he calls them, is not a mess up.
Yeah.
That makes no sense.
It's
and
part of her
Viviana,
character. That's who she is.
Viviana called him out on that. How can you say that I can say that that's the wrong way to act. We can all say that knee-jerk reactions is the wrong behavior.
And that's his issue of trying to please or be pleasing. Everything needs to be nice and simple and just sugar-coated, pleasant, no issues. We just can't have blemishes in any kind of way, and that's unrealistic.
And when Dr. Viviana left, he broke down crying because I feel bad.
He got up and walked away, and he started looking at his phone. I mean, first off, I'm thinking, okay, now that she's gone, let's have a real discussion. He gets up and he walks away because he thinks it's going to be a conflict. He can't even have a discussion because of something that is embedded in his mind as an occurrence. He thinks that is the only way that she can respond or handle any type of discussion or conflict.
And yet he contradicted himself when he told his friend that she handled that last issue very well. So
even after saying that she was a little hurt by it.
So again, this is his issue.
Yeah, totally.
This is his issue, not hers. And she understands wrong behavior. She understands handling things negatively and has admitted it, has apologized for it, is trying to grow from it.
Has grown from it.
He is still stuck because it's his issue.
He's stuck because of something that he saw that I think happened to him when he was maybe 12 years old. Some girl just hurt his feelings.
At 12?
Probably.
Yeah. So, Michaela did say something that's very true, and that marriage is hard work, especially when you're trying to get to know who a person is.
Yeah, when you're trying to improve a relationship.
Trying to compromise, trying to negotiate.
When you're negotiating with another person to find a pleasant result that both of you can live with. Not only live with, but to grow from. So it's like both of you are digging soil and treating a soil to grow something out of it. But one person puts in, I don't know, nutrients, and the other person puts in something that doesn't make it grow. I mean, you have to get on the same page. You have different ways of going about doing it, but somehow together you have to work collectively to make the process work for the both of you.
So bottom line is both Michaela and Zach have to build their trust levels. Yeah. And at this rate, that's going to be difficult to do.
Because he won't move.
Yeah.
Forward.
Brett and Ryan. So Dr. Viviana's visit with
I think Viviana runs everybody home.
Brett and Ryan. Ryan, admitted that he doesn't have the same feelings for Brett that Brett has for him. And they had her exit. Mm-hmm. And I had to write it down because I had to say this verbatim. He wants to feel butterflies, to be speechless, for his breath to be taken away. And what did you say?
I liked what Viviana said.
No, but you said it first. You said that he wants a fairy tale.
He wants a fairy tale.
And she said,
that's Hollywood.
That's Hollywood stuff, dude.
That don't exist.
That's like, a fantasy.
Totally. And you're grown. I mean, this ain't puppy love.
Well, let's go back to his sister talking about how fast he falls in love. And again, what are we talking about? Are we talking about true love? Or are we talking about infatuation? Yeah. And most of the time, the infatuation is driven by physical attraction. Yeah. He has already said that Brett is not his type. So there is not going to be an immediate physical attraction for someone who is not your type. Mm-hmm. Generally speaking, when you begin to know that person and see the characteristics of that person, that begins to spark an interest and a like for someone that supersedes the type.
The look.
Because she's not ugly, and he says she's not ugly.
She's not.
It's just not his type. Well, the type that you've been going after, you're still single.
And for somebody even to think that you can fall in love in a day and kind of be serious about it,
that means you really don't know what love is. Yeah. You don't have a full understanding of love. And we're going to talk about that because I think there are a lot of people who don't have a full understanding of what love is, what you really should mean when you say, I love you. Mm-hmm. So he also had to engage in flight for a couple nights, go to his apartment, reset his head, and come back with a
new perspective.
Yeah.
Hopefully he did. I mean, he said he did, but
we'll see.
Here we go.
All right. So, the couple's wheels fell off this week. Rachel and Jose, the I love you couple. I love you. They were the first to say it. Mm-hmm. They said it to each other. Everything has been wonderful. She's great. He's great. And now it's not so great.
The full flat tires and the spare is dry.
So, unfortunately, they had a tiff because she called him by another man's name. Okay.
4 weeks. 4 weeks. Like all else is supposed to be forgotten. That would not make anybody feel good, and I understand that.
And from a male's point of view,
I mean, I think you would probably have to have a little softer ego to deal with it. But again, you don't call anybody out of their name. You don't have to curse them out. You can just express the fact that you were disappointed, displeased, pissed off, whatever the case may be. But you can still speak plain English.
Yeah.
And especially to your spouse.
Who you say you love. So he curses her out, tells her to get out.
Yeah.
You can just get your stuff and go. Just go.
But now he said this first. Because after her absorbing this, along with other stuff that went on, she decides to say, well, I don't think I can be your wife anymore.
Oh, you went all the way there. We had so much in between.
Oh, no, yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, then bring it back and bring it in.
Okay.
Because
cursing her out.
Yeah.
Telling her to get out.
Mm-hmm.
And she leaves to walk somebody out.
Who was a witness to this blow up. So when they went outside, whatever time it was, of course, there was the discussion. It was a girlfriend, whatever the case may be. I don't even know if it was a producer, whatever. They went outside. They talked further about it.
He locks the door, deadbolts the door, locks her out of their apartment. This is not his house.
That he called his property.
Their apartment. Deadbolts his wife, a female who has nothing with her, outside the door for the rest of the night and goes to bed. Okay. First, out of, just as Brett said, human decency.
Yeah. I don't care. She could have cursed me out. I wouldn't have done that to her. Even if the next day we could have woke up and just went in totally different directions. But you don't do that to a person.
You don't do that to a person, especially
that you say
your wife. Okay? And who has nothing with her, no keys. It's not like she can go back to her apartment.
If anything, you go outside and say, look, I'm getting ready to go to bed. Do you want your keys? Are you coming back in? Whatever the case may be. You need to check on her.
So
first.
Then, as she tries to have a conversation with him the next day, because who knows where she stayed that night, she tries to have a civilized conversation the next day, and he refuses
to acknowledge
that what he did was wrong. Everything was tried to explained away as though it were rational, and refuses to even act like, you talk about cold. Dude,
cold.
He was, but that's what makes it cold.
Cold is when you don't care. That was purposeful.
Well,
you can go past not caring. He wanted to hurt her.
Well, that's true. He did want to hurt her, but it was arrogant, and it borderlined on being narcissistic. How he handled what he did and how he did it to her. And so now we go to, first of all, I don't appreciate anybody talking to me that way.
Really?
My parents didn't raise me to allow any man to talk to me that way.
Simply said, which is true. You shouldn't have to accept that from anybody. I don't care what the situation is.
And then you lock me out of our apartment?
Yeah.
And then there's no remorse. There's no, just matter of fact, okay, and whatever. Again, what do you want to do?
With everything that she was throwing out, she was just probing to see if there was any type of feeling that you had any culpability in how I'm feeling after making my mistake, immediately apologizing for it, and then everything you did from that point on, and you cannot even say, you can't take responsibility in any part of it?
In any part of it.
Any part of it. You just say, okay.
So now we get to, I can't be your wife.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then if that's the case, hey, what do we have to work with? Because evidently you're comfortable with what you have done. Okay, I made a mistake. I immediately apologize for it. It may have hurt your feelings.
And then says, I know that you want me to apologize, but I don't want to say it just so that you stay.
Which sounds like you didn't want to say it because you don't want to say that you're wrong.
Okay. Then he tries to make the guys believe that
everybody.
He accidentally, apparently I locked her out.
Okay.
Apparently.
Everybody was like, hey. She called you the wrong name, and then she immediately said she just didn't want to be your wife anymore. Let's rewind, because there's something in between there. Something happened. Tell us what it was. Well, maybe I might have, or it may have been interpreted that. You know what you did.
Okay, dude. Ain't nobody boo-boo the fool.
The fellas didn't go for it.
Because they're like, I don't think you can accidentally deadbolt
How do you
a door. You can't accidentally deadbolt a door.
No, you have to turn.
Okay, maybe the hand lock where you know lock. that you know, when we open our door, we automatically lock the turn the knob, the lock for the hand knob, right? You don't accidentally deadbolt it. So nobody was buying the bull crap.
Nobody.
And he knew it.
Nobody.
And
he felt bad.
And he was feeling,
mouth got dry.
Yeah.
Got fidgety with the hat.
Let me just say, love. Yeah. And these are the same people who said, I love you. And I love you. And pulling out our book, becoming a professional lover. And, you know, we're Christians, so we go by the biblical definition of love. Mm-hmm. Let me just read a few things about what love is. Endures long and is patient and kind, never envies, nor boils over with jealousy, does not boast or say, look at me, is not conceited or arrogant, is not rude or unbecoming in behavior, does not insist on its own way, isn't touchy, fretful, or resentful, doesn't keep count of wrongs, doesn't rejoice at injustice, doesn't fade out or come to an end. Now, granted, we all are challenged in some of those areas.
Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't be life if the monitor didn't go up and down.
Exactly. But there are certain things that you just don't do if you love someone.
And respect them.
And cursing them out and locking them out of the house.
And the first one that says that that's Latin fire, you're full of crap.
Because that's just being a butthole.
She said it. I thought it, but she said it.
That's being a butthole. So, really disappointed in that behavior. Yeah. And again, not saying that he didn't have a right to feel hurt that he was called by another man's name, but you've been with this person for 4 weeks. She's never done that. And whatever you're talking about, it came out. She apologized
immediately,
and all of that. So you know that the level to which that reaction went,
and not only the level, but the time frame.
Yeah,
that it continued to fester within him for his actions to continue on.
And the arrogance too came with that next morning, him saying, "Hey, how you doing?" Like,
"Hey,
we're good. We're just gonna have a normal conversation after you have locked me out of the apartment for the night." Yeah, no. That is not love. And so to say I love you and then text it to her. Text that to her.
As the guys were getting together.
Because if that is love, then that's not love that I want.
I don't think anybody does.
Because that's harmful for me.
That's harmful for anybody. Because if it's not, then your esteem is extremely low.
All right. Mirla and Gil. Little surprises with this one. So, Mirla and Gil's visit with Dr. Viviana. You know, Gil's always straight up about where he is. And, you know, surprisingly, Mirla's emotional intimacy, she rated at a 7. Mm-hmm. And the physical intimacy, she rated at a 7.
Yeah.
Which shocked him. He
Yeah.
thought it would be lower because his is
His
lower.
is lower.
It's a 5
Yeah.
for physical intimacy and an 8 with emotional intimacy.
Because they're pleasant, they have fun together. I mean, they seem like they should be together.
But Mirla did let out tonight, and I don't know if she said it before, but that she was cheated on.
Yeah.
Which helps me to understand her more. So I see Mirla and Ryan at the extreme polar opposites of how they view relationships.
Yeah. One wants all the emotion and the passion and the butterflies and
the other is strictly logic.
I'm not putting the thought of emotion in.
Strictly logical.
Yeah. She's gonna make a decision.
And guys, both extremes are out of balance.
Yeah, totally.
Now, it made me wonder whether or not last week's apparent her inability to tell Gil that she wanted him and just went back to saying, I want you as my brunch partner. And we were all like, okay, wrong answer. Okay, that gives him no comfort. That gives him no... It gives him nothing.
No feeling.
Right. But at the same time, it fits in with this steel door that she has around herself.
And I understand. I understand the logic and self-preservation, but again, you have to throw a dog a bone.
Exactly.
Sometimes.
But let me tell you what the bone was.
What, this week?
This week.
Okay.
The bone was...
I know what the bone was this week.
No, the bone was, we're not getting a divorce.
Right. And you have to interpret that.
Everything you have to interpret. You have to interpret with her.
With her, definitely. Because they rewound and said, if Gil, do you believe that you would ask for a divorce if you did not get a kiss by week 8? And he would say, yes, I would ask for a divorce.
And she said, but divorce is not an option.
We're not going to get a divorce.
And that is true. In marriage, divorce should never be an option. True. And that is one of the tips here. Mm-hmm. But this is a different situation in that you have the 8 weeks to decide. Right. So, big clue. We're not getting a divorce.
Really? So,
second big clue, divorce is not an option. Third big clue, so all you need to not want a divorce is a kiss. Yeah. That's all I need. Okay.
We're not getting a divorce. Okay.
So, while she has not thrown him physical intimacy bones, in her out of balance, logical way, she's letting him know that I like you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like us. I like you a lot. Yeah. And he got his back.
2 of them. They even had it on camera. It was from a distance.
She said he's going to get it.
Yeah.
And she said, I'm close.
Yeah.
And he got it.
And again, she's just extremely calculated. And again, by divulging the fact that, her heart is extremely guarded. She will never go through whatever that situation was that she went through in the past. She's very calculated in what she gives of herself.
So hopefully that's a little crack.
But I said that she was taking this 8 weeks to calculate exactly what it was.
Yeah. And, yeah. Not that that's the best way to do it.
No.
But that's how she's choosing to do it.
I mean, I like it. I like to see her smile and giggle and laugh and stuff like that because she seems so rigid.
Yeah, she's very tightly wound. She couldn't participate in smashing up the stuff, which I thought was great. I'd love to do that
because
that's
people
just
was getting off.
Yeah. I mean, Rachel, I think was.
Well, she had some steam to blow off.
Yeah, and I was wondering if she was gonna leave anything for anybody else to break up.
Bao took apart that TV.
Yeah, she did, and but Mirla, that's not how she's very tightly wound. It takes a special person to be able to unwind her.
She is bougie.
And, to help her loosen up a tad. Just a tad.
Let down your guard a little bit. A little
she couldn't do the blindfold because of her eyelashes. I mean, I'm just not that kind of girl. So I
thank you.
You're welcome. Anyway, our last couple, Bao and Johnny. They were they're coasting right now.
No, actually they're on a runway. I think they're about to take off.
Okay, so they're at a good spot.
Now, it could be the DC airport because at the end of the runway there's a lake, a river. And it's a short runway, but I think they're literally en route to taking off.
Yeah. Bao did admit that she doesn't read romance signals very well, but you
can't have it all.
You can't have it all.
Because she's a brilliant girl.
Because girlfriend was like, I'll do you every day. Now,
what woman will tell a man
every day?
We can do this daily.
Or at least every other day, but every day. How many men would kill for their wives to say that? I'm with it for every day. Okay? Yeah. So as far as I'm concerned, she don't have to read no signals. She's already told you she'll do it every day. I'm just saying.
Done deal.
Well, so that's our recap. Those are the sparks. Those are the issues that we've got going into next week. So we'll see where everybody lands, especially Rachel and Jose.
See how they resolve that situation.
Next week.
They should.
No, they have to.
Yeah.
He needs to resolve that.
Yeah, they do.
Because I could not move forward if he couldn't take accountability for that and apologize for that.
And for the simple fact that he was so willing to let it go because of a silly mistake.
Just erase the whole everything. 4 weeks prior.
Everything.
And I have to say, and we'll end on this, that, when she read him the things that she had put in his phone about how she was feeling about his controlling nature and whatever, and, he felt a little blindsided because that has not really been discussed. She has made little comments here and there as he would say things or as he would do things, but she didn't come out and say, this is bothering me.
Yeah. But her actions, her facial expressions,
right.
Everybody else
body language.
How come he can't?
Yeah. So, but you can't, that's not the proper way to communicate. True. You don't leave someone to assumptions.
True.
You come out and say what you need to say. And she did say, hey, I should have handled that better. I could have said something sooner. I could have let you know how I feel. So, and that's on her part, the communication thing is really big, you guys. And you really have to work on getting to a point where you can communicate with transparency and tact and respect so that your partner can listen and not put them on the defensive, which throws up walls that mean that you're not going to get anything resolved. So
you don't have to be offensive in your expression just because you want to get a point across.
Right. So anyway, we'll see what happens next week. Until then, stay safe and peace.
Enjoy.